Week 18 is here, and for some, it passed you right by. The Jacksonville Jaguars officially out of playoff contention and out of playoff play as they lose 28-20. That is 5 losses in their last 6 games to give up what looked to be a mathematical certainty not long ago. Welcome to Game Day Scoreboard presented by Geico. Joe Musso alongside the 2-time Super Bowl champ Bryant McFadden. B-Mac, this is a moment and a series of moments that will not be forgotten by Jacksonville Jaguars fans, and I see that wry smile on your face because this Jaguars result ensures a couple of other things. The Pittsburgh Steelers, most notably for you, in the playoff picture. Houston, a division champion and locked into the 4 seed. They will get Cleveland coming to town. We'll talk about all of those subsequent results off of this Jacksonville game, but we have to start right there with the inability to do what they needed to do here. This was a mathematical certainty some 6 weeks ago that they'd be a playoff team, almost mathematically certain that they'd win this division. Where did you see the drop-off, and how did that rear its head here in the final opportunity of the year?
I think the drop-off happened with the quarterback play. Trevor Lawrence, untimely turnovers. We saw that surface again today. 2 interceptions. Of course, the second interception was more on Evan Ingram than Trevor Lawrence, but yet still in the stat sheet, it shows up for Trevor Lawrence. The earlier pick overthrew the wide receiver, big-time opportunity for Tennessee defensively. They cashed in. Those were common mistakes that we oftentimes see surfaced in his game. And, Joe, you talked about it. Weeks ago, we felt like this was the team that was destined to get into the play. That 6-game stretch where they were just playing bad football, mostly on the offensive side, they're now on the outside looking in when you talk about the playoffs. And this has been a disappointing run for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The success they had a year ago, getting into the playoffs, battling against the Kansas City Chiefs, basically losing that game by 1 possession. Coming into this year, in comes Calvin Ridley, who missed the entire season a year ago. You talk about another year with Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson, making a few additions also on both sides of the football field. And then, of course, the uncertainties with the other teams in their division, especially at the quarterback position. We all felt like this division was theirs to lose. So not only will the Jacksonville Jaguars not win their division, they're not making the playoffs because they did not take care of their business against a team that had nothing to play for.
On November 26th, the Jags beat the Texans. That was to move to 8-3 on the season. There's a 2-game lead in the South. By the numbers, according to Sportsline, 91% chance to win the division, 98% chance to make the playoffs. Since then, 5 of 6 the wrong way, and they miss out on the playoffs. This is a legacy day. This is one of those days that determines how people talk about you. Are you amending heading into next year the way you're talking about Trevor Lawrence? We saw all of the big talent, but who you are in this type of moment often is how you are defined. How does this affect the way you're looking at Trevor Lawrence?
I'm concerned because, the success he had last year, we felt like he finally had a structured offense to work within, and we saw the fruits of his labor being a part of a structured offensive team. And then this year, we saw flashes here or there, but then the costly mistakes, especially in the red zone. You can't have these things surface in your ball game if you're considering to be a team that could get into the playoffs, if we consider you to be that type team. And now when you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars moving forward, clearly they still have the players they need to have to be able to be competitive. But their division, the gap is closing dramatically in the division because before the season kicked off this season, Joe, we didn't know exactly what Houston would look like with a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback. We didn't know exactly what the coach would look like with a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback, right? It looks like those teams looking pretty good right now, right? They look like they found their coach. Most importantly, they found their coach, and especially with the Houston Texans, they found their quarterback.
Ain't no doubt about it.
So in a division where we felt like the Jacksonville Jaguars had the best quarterback, I don't think we can say that now moving forward.
I think that is a debate that we will have and will wage in the years to come, certainly. But in this moment, Jacksonville lets it slip right through their fingers. 5 of 6 in the loss column. They miss out on the playoffs. And again, this was the result that plenty of other teams and cities had their eyes on as well. Again, with this loss, Houston is your division champion. They will get Cleveland in the first round of the playoffs coming to Houston. We now know all of our AFC playoff teams. It's just a matter of seeding based off of the final game of the season between the Bills and the Miami Dolphins. Buffalo, there's no longer that scenario of if they lose, they're out. It is a mathematical certainty they are a playoff team. I want to take you to Pittsburgh for a moment. I know you're always willing to go there. There's going to be a fruit basket of some sort sent from one Bryant McFadden to the greater Tennessee area off of this win. Mac, if Miami wins tonight, Pittsburgh goes to Kansas City. If Buffalo wins tonight, Pittsburgh goes to Buffalo. Which is the lesser of two evils? Where do you want to see your team play?
I mean, two high-level type teams. But if I had to pick one right now, give me Kansas City.
Okay, why?
Give me Kansas City because I think offensively, their personnel, there are some issues, right? I think there are areas offensively, not named Pat Mahomes or Travis Kelce, where they're a bit vulnerable. And I'm talking about what we watched the entire season. Now, we know how great Pat Mahomes is and can be. We know how great Travis Kelce is and what he can be as well. But everything else that's surrounding those guys haven't really been super polished. They haven't really been super consistent. Now, Rashee Rice has really emerged to be a big-time contributor in the passing game as of late, but he's a rookie. Outside of that, you know, it's almost like trying to close your eyes and pick exactly who is going to surface in the game plan for that particular ball game. So for Pittsburgh, when you talk about the personnel offensively, we haven't seen the consistent watched from the Kansas City Chiefs in years past where you would be, oh, we go to Kansas City. We know they got Pat. We know they got Travis, but they got this guy. They got that guy. Outside of that, they really haven't shown that consistently. With the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen is still Josh Allen, even though he's been known to give up a few here or there, which is a good thing to have if you're playing against him. But they got Stephon Diggs. The way they're running the football with James Cook, I mean, really surfaced big time. Offensive line play has really been improved as of late, especially since Joe Brady became the OC there. So I would say right now it would be Kansas City, because we know how great the quarterback is, Andy Reid, the playoff experience, going to Arrowhead, hearing the chant, all of that. It means something, but let's keep it real. Let's be honest. This offense that we've watched this year is not the same offense that we've seen in years past. Right, averaging around 22 points per ball game.
Certainly. That's
below the average in Kansas City based on what we've seen with Andy Reid and Money Pat Mahomes. So I would say, right now, to answer your question, let's go to Kansas City, baby.
I know you've heard of Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. How about Houston, Buffalo, Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
All given thanks to this season-ending loss
Coach Vrabel
for Jacksonville.
Woo!
Braves ended on a high note here. They will not see playoff football, but they do give a gift to others.
Great job, Tennessee.
Love with Todd Furman, Pete Prisco, and Brady Quinn. I am your game show host, Tommy Tran. So let's get to that first game, which has been sitting around, I think, 2.5 or 3 on FanDuel here. And I don't have a love, but I do have 3 likes, actually, here. So, Brady, I'll start with you. You like, which side are you on in this game?
I like the Packers here laying the 3 points. I love the development of what I've seen from Jordan Love, and in particular, even with his best wide receiver in Christian Watson, you still see the productivity from this offense. He's playing really, really good football. I am concerned about that defense, the way they've played this year, but this is a tough place to win for Chicago. I do have some concerns about Fields and this offense and how it's going to play on the road, even though he's, I think, proven that he should be the guy moving forward. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the points here with the Packers. This is a like for me, and I think you feel the same way.
Same like for you, Pete?
It is the same like for me. I think Jordan Love is playing at a high level. I think he's proven to people he's their quarterback. I do think the Bears are better on defense, but I still think he'll find a way to cover this game. I think the Packers will be dangerous when they get in the playoffs.
Todd, you've got a like, which is pretty darn much a love here, but you have a play on the total. You're going over the number that we're seeing here, 45.5?
I am indeed, Tommy. And I mean, look, if Pete's going to bust my chops, I may as well pick a total. If I'm going to take the abuse, I have to own it here. So I'm going to go over the total in this game. I think when you look at this Bears team, both Pete and Brady highlighted some key components. Jordan Love's development has been incredible over the last 6 to 8 weeks in terms of his ability to spread it around. And it hasn't been the same cast of characters in that receiver room as well. With A.J. Dillon out, I actually think that's an upgrade in the backfield because it means more touches for Aaron Jones. His ability as a runner and receiver should be of paramount importance today. And when I look at the Bears, Jalen Johnson doubtful all week with that shoulder injury, Kyler Gordon dealing with a calf. I think the best case scenario is Green Bay builds a lead, the Bears are forced to play from behind, and we could see some fireworks, much like we did week 1 in a 38-20 Packers victory.
All right, so we got 3 likes in this game. In our next game with Dallas and Washington, 3 leans in this one here. It's a big number, 13.5 on FanDuel right now. I'm going to go with the guy that is on an island in terms of the leans. And, Pete, I think that's you. You're leaning Dallas to lay the big number here?
Yeah, I like Dallas to get back and put up a big number in this game. I think they're going to score anytime they want to, which is why I normally hate laying 13 points. I really do. But I think this scenario, with what's at stake for them and what Washington's looking at, I think the Dallas will blow them out.
Okay, so you lean Cowboys, you guys lean Commanders. Todd, I'll start with you. What's the evaluation on your play here?
I do, Tommy, and it's only a lean because the number here is similar to what we saw on Thanksgiving, where the Dallas Cowboys played at home and laid a price tag like this. I think odds makers are forcing you to pay a premium with Dallas in a win-and-you're-in type scenario to win the division. Now that Philadelphia fumbled it away last week. If Jacoby Brissett was a starting quarterback, I'd have loved Washington here catching the points. But I think this is a big number for a Cowboys team, no stranger to playing down to their competition within the division. I think Washington hangs around and loses this game somewhere in the ballpark of 7-10.
Brady,
yeah, divisional matchup. Cowboys here on the road. Just not really sure what to expect from them. These games have been close at times before between the two. Dallas has their sights set on the playoffs right now, and I know Washington's probably concerned about what's going to happen in the next 24 hours with their head coach Ron Rivera, but sometimes you see teams rally around a coach in this point in time, figure out a way of just kind of throwing caution to the wind and keeping this one close. So I'm going to go ahead and take the 13.5 points here, but it's a lean for me. You never know what's going to happen these Week 18 games.
Okay, so you'll go from 3 likes to 3 leans, and then the last game here, I do have 1 love. And as we've learned through 18 weeks of the regular season, that usually comes from one Pete Prisco and the Paisan
I'm the only one who puts it out there.
It's not your best bet, though.
Well, I love both
sort of
sides of it. I love both sides of this. I love the Bills. I love the over. I just picked one here in this spot because I picked the other one in the other spot. I think Josh Allen will put up a huge number. He's dominated the Miami Dolphins, and this defense is just decimated by injuries. If he doesn't throw 3 touchdowns and run for 1 tonight, I will be majorly shocked. I think that they blow them out.
I'm with you. It's a like for me, though. I could see a scenario here where the Dolphins can keep this one close, but I like the Bills. I like Josh Allen putting up a huge number, as you would say in this one. I also think it's just the defensive pieces that are missing right now. I don't know that Vic Fangio can defend this Bills offense the way he'd like to. I think his offensive line has been much improved this year for the Bills. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the points here with the Bills. It's a like for me.
So Pete had talked about how much he loves the over, which is his best bet. Todd, you like the under.
Well, that makes me feel better about mine.
Hey, look, I mean, let's go head-to-head of this. I do like the under in this one because when I look at this Dolphins team offensively, I mean, where are the big plays going to come from when they're a little bit banged up at the skill positions? If we see no Raheem Mostert and no Jalen Waddle, that clamps down considerably on what Devin Achane can do along with Tyreek Hill. And on the other side, I know a lot of people are talking about how Josh Allen has feasted on this Dolphins team, but this Bills offense since Joe Brady took over hasn't looked the same in terms of their ability to pick up chunk yardage, especially through the air. They're a ground and pound attack. They're looking to be much more methodical. I think Josh Allen's legs play a bigger role in this spot. And look, guys, where there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, Stephon Diggs, it's not just a 1-week sample size or 5 weeks. We're getting closer to 10. There appears to be a real chemistry issue, or he's dealing with some slight injuries that have slowed down this passing attack. It's not like the Bills faced elite pass defenses each of the last 2 weeks against New England and against the Chargers. I think Buffalo is workmanlike. They run the